Give me just a second. Seems just loading 3,000 years. Oh, wow. Hey, Kendra. It's just like first come, first serve, and there we go. So, since crap, I just lost my train of thought because I always get excited. This thing almost slipped out of my hand when I did that. I was trying to get my grip, but I figured out since somebody important to me just got done having surgery, I figured I'd be doing some kind of healing work that incorporates many things into one. And I'm kind of considering also to use this deck, actually, the Goetia Tarot in Darkness. And I figured to actually incorporate it by finding, let's see here, there's one card in particular, one Poetic Divine, that I'm trying to shuffle through, see if I can find them. There's two of them. Two of them I'm thinking about inviting. Let's see. There's one. There's another one. It took me a moment that I almost forgot about. Like, wait a minute. Okay. Really, there's going to be a total of three. And I don't know why, but I'm getting the pull to make like a triangle. And, like formatting them, like having one at the top, one to the left, and one to the right. I can just figure out where that other one is. Where is he? Is he? Come on. Where is... I know the suspense is killing you. It's like, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? There he is. In particular, I feel the three that would best help would be President Burr. He's the King of Cups in this deck, and he has Mercury and Taurus as like the planetary card associated with him. Then we have um, I believe he's a prince. Prince Seer? I believe he's a prince. Quote me if I'm wrong, but he has Jupiter and Pisces. Has Jupiter and Pisces, and then we have Prince Stolas, who's Jupiter and Virgo, if I'm remembering correctly. He's a prince, I hope. And the reason why for these three, both President Burr and Prince Stolas, they both have associations with understanding the potential of medicinal properties of herbs, plants, and healing. I know Stolas has that in like what's that called? It's what is that called? It's like when you're able to see some like a what is that called? It's on the tip of my tongue. I know exactly what it is, but when you take like something like a gemstone and then you're like kind of seeing and you're like really analyzing it and then you're starting to see the potential in it. And actually, I think you already know this too, but he's actually really beloved by both. But then again, I mean, my I wonder I wonder why. Because he primarily takes the shape of an owl. And funny in this deck, I'm not sure if you saw it, but I know. There she is. In this deck with Lilith, that's her by the way. In this deck, there's actually two owl figures. One of them is Stolas, and the other one is Marquise Amon. Stolas is right there, and Amon is the one up here with the snake. Yeah. When I saw it, I'm thinking, wait a minute. I know that's Stolas, so where's the other one? Oh, and look at that, the Omen. And there's Amon right there. Marquise Amon is right there. The Omen. Like, how can you not? How can we not deny that? Like right there. There's Lilith with the two. So here, maybe this will get rid of the glare. Oh yeah, that got rid of the glare. Kind of. There's Lilith with Amon and sorry, I got a bit of a hiccup. Amon and Stolas there. There is Amon, and then there's Stolas. Notice how the wings are kind of the same. Stolas has the bigger wings, and um, Stolas has the smaller wings. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm thinking that's pretty clever. I like how the artist somehow got both owls on the same card, but primarily with these two having the Excel to actually teach about medicinal properties of herbs and being focused primarily with aspects of healing and understanding. Hi, Kayla. Of such materials, including gemstones and crystals, because that would be more of Stolas's Excel. But President Burr being actually seen as a Sagittarius figure and also being able to be known to get around by just rolling like a ball, which is unique. But because of that, Sagittarius does have that aspect of having higher wisdom and higher philosophy and having divine guidance being involved. So that's also going to be being attuned to it too. But as for say Prince Seer, what Prince Seer would be contributing to this if he deems, in fact, if these three do deem fit, I would just keep them to the side, but they're invited to help. With Prince Seer, we know that he excels in having things get love tap, like get things moving quick and fast. But not only that though, but the idea of actually being able, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Prince Seer is able to find items that are lost and treasure that was lost or taken, and then have it be returned back to you, or put something in security. If I'm remembering correctly, this one, I wouldn't be surprised if someone's like, well, wait a minute, that's not entirely what Seer is all about. So let me just pull up my big notepad that I have on my computer with like every single note. Because I mean, like, I go so deep into my goetic divine research. Like, it's okay. Have them all alphabetized. Okay, there he is. Prince here. Okay, it's true. Okay, that was it. His office is to come and go, yet, and bring abundance of things to pass on a sudden. Hey, Verona. So essentially, yeah. So Seer having things move quick and to bring abundance of things to pass on a sudden. So having the the guidance and the knowledge and the effects of medicinal properties of herbs, plants, and occult, because casting magic is occult. Having these two pretty much be the foundation, and Seer to actually help make things come and be bestowed like that, and then just become abundant on a sudden. And to carry or recarry anything thou wouldst have to go, or whence thou wouldst have it from. He can pass over the whole earth in the twinkle of an eye. Okay, so I'll go and whence he giveth the true relations of all peps and treasures and many and what I like too about one of these notes, and actually this is like my personal note when I first made contact with Seer. I really love how Seer is he's like when you interact with Seer, at least with my experience, for me, Seer was very attentive. Like, are you okay? You look like there's something bothering you. What's bothering you? Like he actually was able to actually give that sense of presence and actually like a really good friend would, and even though it was just like first time meeting him, it's like you're very concerned and you're standing well. I haven't even I've just met you and had you come into my space once, but to me that's really noble and appreciative. Which and another part of my notes, and is willing to do anything which is desired upon the one who calls to him. So it's really usually it's not really that common to see. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, Kendra. Like as soon as I'm like, okay, so let's get this show on the road. I'm here for once, early. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Oh, I was speaking of Prince Seer, and what I'm going to be doing for this healing work is I'm actually going to be making copies of these cards. That way I won't damage them. And as soon as I'm done preparing the candle, I'm going to get everything laid out. And then each crystal that I'm going to be using to make like the triangle pointing upward to bring more upward of healing and restoration and prosperity of it. Each one of these depictions of each of these poetic divines, each one is going to go on each corner. Seer, I would have to say, probably would be the one at the top because, well, Seer would be at the top, and then Prince Stolas and President Burr I would be putting at the bottom. And that's just what my intuitive side is going to say. So I'm just going to go with it. So from there, I'm now going to actually get this thing prepared. So first things first, as we all know, we have to get our space cleansed and whatnot. I'm going to just get my little spray bottle of negativity be gone spray. I do that with everything that's like in a little container that has fluid in it. I always give it a good shake and a good smack to wake it up. So then we're just going to start with the simple. Just get it all soaked. And just, I would say grease the palms, but this is not really greasing it. It's more like, no, I'm not going to say that word that begins with an M because that's not the right word. And we're not going to go with that word instead. So I'm going to grab one of my bandanas. Okay, if it's not there, it has to be up here. Uh-huh. Of course, I happen to grab the bandana that has Deadpool on it. Because why not? Deadpool. Line that off so that way it comes time to mark on it, we can, and then just for good measure, just to make sure it's cleansed. Pretty please what, we're on it? Oh, seer. Well, there are many ways that you can actually spell it, but I believe the most widely accepted and the most common way to spell it is Seere, I believe. And and of course, if I ever say anything that's inaccurate or whoops, Kendra, please be all like, no, because I like to know whenever I make whoopsies to, be like, well, that's not really what he does. Oh, he does this instead, because I'd rather be told what is right, so that way I'm not handing out fake information. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. One of those ones that's like, oh, he's one of them becoming a. No, I just completely forgot what joke I was going for. Yeah, I don't like giving up BS information when I don't need to. So the color that I'm going to be making this working with is going to just be a regular 7-day in green. And usually, most of the time, people would associate the color green with like prosperity, growth, um, anything that involves security, abundance, and financial. But instead of that, I'm actually going to be using one of the hidden gems with it, the color green. But usually, when it comes to color magic and workings, I tend to say that it comes down to how the person sees that color, if that makes sense. Because one person may see the color, let's say, like with black and white. Some people would see the color black as like, oh, that's evil. That must be all about curse work. While you got somebody else on the other side saying, well, the color black to me, actually, I'll have you know, makes me makes me feel like I'm being healed. It makes me feel secure, protected. While the color white is used for like making somebody sick. It all just depends on the person. My personal preference is that white is, to me, white is more damaging than black because with white it dilutes. Because when you mix red and white together, you get pink. So the color red gets a little bit diluted. So it gets a bit weaker. And it becomes like how usually red is seen as a very lustful color. Now it becomes a more sensual color with pink. That's why I think white does more damage than black. Yep. Well, while you put in, say, something like there's red and then you mix black with it, you get crimson. Now, crimson, mixing those black and red together, you get a red that is a bit more in the dark, a little bit more seduceful in the way that it is pretty much expressing its energized form than just with red. This way, somebody can be a lot more active in like messing with somebody's mind, if that makes sense. Hmm. So to start with this, I've already smacked it a few times to cleanse it. So with the color green, I'm using it in terms of, actually, I was going to say, I was actually going to ask, how would, you usually do, like, I do know when in doubt, usually you use white because white is so susceptible to anything because it just takes anything. Is any workings regarding, like, say, like if you're going to be like cursing somebody and you're aligned with the left hand path, especially the the actual occult side with also practicing like theistic Satanism with occultism mixed together properly, wouldn't be using the white candles primarily be used as what you actually hex somebody with? That's what actually I was thinking in my head. Because I know the color black though, actually one of the little lesser known common things about the color black is that it's actually one of the best healing colors because, well, the color black, whatever you throw in it, it takes it and it's gone because black is related to like the void. The best way to heal something, just pretty much target it with But you could even do like a healing spell where you take a poppet, you throw it into a dark place, and then as soon as whenever you deem fit of time passes by, as soon as you reach in the poppet, don't even look at it, reach in there and say, as soon as I pull it out of darkness, it'll be healed and all the ailments that they're faced with will be gone because the darkness just grabs it, pulls it out from them. Pull out the poppet, then there it is. A little lesser known thing about it. So, green. And also, this was also scented. I'm not sure what scent it's supposed to be, but I've also never found anything. That's what I was going to figure. And I just completely lost what I was going to say about another thing about the color black. Um, it'll come back to me. My mind is just like moving 3,000 miles per hour. Go figure. Well, at the end of the day, using magic and using color magic, if you're using that in your practice, at the core of it all comes down to the caster. Actually, I just remember this too. There is a color, there's a shade of black that is so abysmally dark that literally it takes the light, consumes it. I don't know what shade of black that is, but that sounds like okay, can I just paint my whole room that color? Because it's so dark. Yeah, it's so dark that literally if you throw any light in there, it's just gonna gobble it. So with green, I'm gonna be going with the idea of say, well, since the surgery is already finished and now it's the post-surgery recovery and all that, I'm primarily going to have this focus to being a growth of healing restoration, being more re- being more stronger after the recovery. So that's it. Musuo Black. Ah, there's no such thing as too dark here. Literally, there is no such thing as too dark. So incorporating the tongue twister. Incorporating numerology for this, usually numbers, in my opinion, that are best for this, for any kind of healing. Well, the first one is number six because the number six is the number of the mother, and mother always nurtures and raises and mends the child whenever they're hurt. Could also say maybe even eight, but then again, the number eight is indefinite, but indefinite growth, indefinite healing, indefinite recovery past the affliction. That might work. Let's see, I gotta. Okay, land it on six. Yeah, I just flipped a coin. Be like, okay, six is heads and eight is tails. So I got six. So I'm gonna put six holes in this. I would be using my other pointing and piercing apparatus that I have. That actually had a Hindu entity carved on the handle, but I have no idea where it went. I had it and it was gone. I was trying to look for it, and that was what I usually use. And then it just somehow figured it could just leave. So, all right then. Put that down. Okay, so we got one, two, three, four, five, six holies in here. Now I'm just gonna plop that right there. So now to start, I'm gonna be pretty much doing my oils first. I'm gonna plop in there. I could just be lazy and just use this one. It's called Console, which is a comforting blend that has, and I quote, oh boy, coconut oil, and coconut oil is usually the all-purpose oil used for any kind of oil blends and the most turned to carrier oil in my opinion. Frankincense, well, frankincense is literally it's like the staple incense and the staple blessing or resin. And there's patchouli. Well, patchouli is good for keeping things down to earth, realistic, practical. It brings financial, and it also can be used for a substitution for cemetery dirt or graveyard dirt. Which in that case, I probably have used it mainly if I ever needed to have any kind of graveyard dirt substitute. Yep, I've always used patchouli because I'd rather not. I, it's just so hard for me to even do anything like that because I was like, you taking my dad's dirt? No, you're not. Yeah, patchouli felt that problem. Yangling? Well, usually Yangling is one of those flowers that's actually meant to be like very flirtatious, very playful, very joyful. Think of like when in high school there was that one girl that was like also the prom queen that everybody liked and every guy wanted to be with her. But she was just so friendly to everyone that she's like, I can't be with you. I gotta be nice to everybody. I can't just give you all the happy attention all the time. Yeah, that's the Yangling in a nutshell, in my opinion. Then we have labadum, which I believe is what is labadum? I think it's something is related to lavender. I could be wrong. Somebody hit me with a spear if I'm wrong. Amorous bark, and not the yeah amorous, not the flower, because I believe it's the flower that's the poison part. Then there's sandalwood, and sandalwood is pretty good for supporting any intention and raising the intent to a more spiritual level. Rose, because rose pretty much does everything that under the sun for somebody and is the most adaptive flower. Now, osmanthus. I think of osmanthus as like pretty much if what's his name? What is that Greek god's name that Persephone and Aphrodite fought over? And it turned out that essentially they both had to share this one guy. And it's kind of funny seeing that Hades was just all, how come I don't get a say in this? Why my wife Persephone gets to go and be off with this guy? How come I have no say in this? Or something like that. Oh, Adonis. When I hear osmanthus, I think, okay, Adonis in the plant. And naturally, funny enough, yes, exactly. Yes, it's Adonis. Because with Adonis, the Greek god of love, no, wait, Greek god of beauty. I think, yeah, beauty. Yeah, that's what they. I found it so funny that Persephone and Aphrodite were just fighting over it. Just like, well, if I can't have Adonis, then nobody gets love. Um, Aphrodite, that's a problem. No, I want him. I'm gonna get him. And until I get him, nobody's gonna have love. Meanwhile, up in Olympus, Zeus, yes, I don't know about this anymore. But your hero, you're supposed to be about marriage. Yeah, but I think you're kind of, annoying, you old geezer. How could you say that to a king? You stick it too much. How, and there was like no love at all anywhere, so they had to come to a truce, and part of that truce was to kind of split in between two. But funny enough, the way that it ended up was, I think when Persephone got Adonis for some time, that was actually when she had to go back to I think it was she had to go back to what was it? That's when she returned back to Demeter, I think. I could be wrong, but I know it was something kind of like a bit of a bamboozle to either Hades or Demeter, one of the two. That pretty much because of the way that it got laid out, she actually was able to outwit one of them. I think so because Hades. Well, I mean there's many possible tellings of the story that there was Hades, and there's the common one where Persephone was just minding her business, and Hades is like, "Hey, you, me? Yeah, you. You're gonna be my queen." No, wait a minute. I don't even know you, dude. And then, yeah, that's where all the normal, um, the way that that story played out. Then there's the alternative one, the one that is not really talked about that much, and it kind of makes me kind of jive more with that one a bit more. The alternative tale has Persephone just wandering away from Demeter, and that's when Demeter starts being upset because her daughter's gone missing. And she's just wandering around, just looking around all over the place. And then for some reason, she ends up in Hades. And she's just, wow, this place is so beautiful. What is such a lovely place. Only in the distance, a few feet away, she looks and goes, "Is Hades, is that you? What are you doing here? Your mother's worried sick about you. Go back to her." Why are you wanting me to leave such gorgeous place? What? You, you think this place is gorgeous? This is where the dead are. I think it's marvelous here. You're okay? Because you're supposed to be, the daughter of the goddess of the seasons, which involves plants, and there's no plants here. Are you okay? How's that beautiful? How's this place beautiful than that? I'm not gonna go back. I like it here. I don't want to stay. Well, you're gonna have to, dear. No, you're not gonna make me leave now. Pulls out a pomegranate, takes a bite out of it, and then looks at him and says, "Your turn." No, I'm not gonna take a bite out of it. And he's like, "Okay, if you insist." And then that's the alternative one. She actually took a piece of pomegranate and ate it while in Hades. And actually, that's how Hades was just like having her be forced onto him indirectly. Because Hades in that tale was rather confused, like, why do you think my domain of things being dead is beautiful? Yeah, I mean, there's so many tales of Greek mythology and how things are alternated. It's actually pretty funny. Like another one was actually how, at least the one that I believe about, like with Medusa, and how Athena was just all, I know I hear Medusa, begging for my assistance and help, but I don't know. And then as soon as, Poseidon forced himself onto her in Athena's temple, despite Medusa pleading and crying out for help. As soon as contact was made, that's when she decided to intervene and then go after Medusa, which to me, I don't like that. And another lesser known fact about Athena, and then I'll get back into this. Athena, believe it or not, does not have any form of empathy or like the feminine aspect into her. You probably think, but she's a woman. How can she not have that? When she was born from Zeus, that was the only parent figure. There was no mother figure because she was born from Zeus's head. From Zeus's head of logic and reasoning comes Athena. Okay, you have Athena. But now the issue. She does not have any intuitiveness. She does not have any sense of empathy, and she does not have that empathic uh, um, thing infused in her. If that makes sense. Yeah, and there was another one where she actually knew what she was doing, and then that one I don't know that well. I just know it exists, but that's like another thing about Athena because she does not have like how there are very few other things that are born with just one parent, like the child of Athena, pretty much was just wiped off and landed on the earth. That one was, I can't remember his name. I think it was a Cyclops. Believe it or not, when that Cyclops was born, he was so emotional. He's like, "Mother, why are you rejecting me? Why are you rejecting me?" I don't know you. How can you do that? Lack of empathy right there. Being born out of Zeus's head of logic, reasoning, and pretty much the masculine side, she lacks that empathy and compassionate feminine connection side, if that makes sense. And she was a goddess of war, but primarily focusing on the strategy and plotting, well, not plotting, but like preparing like onslaughts of strategy and being more about being smarter, not stronger. While with Aries, it's the other way around. But anyway, to get this on the road, the oils I'm going to put in this, there's quite a few because I'm not going to put too many herbs in it. The first one is, go figure, rose. Rose, because we all know Rose can literally do anything and everything and also adapt. Yes, I can agree with that one. And I mean, to be very honest, when I hear Medusa, I think of her as a Saturnian um, entity because Medusa was, so speaking of that, Blue Lotus though, but in this case, just put a little bit under my nose. Oh my gosh, I just love that smell. But Medusa, I see her Saturnian because she was an outcast and she was like pushed away from society and she was seen as a figure that was not really treated as I'm just sticking with with the tale of Poseidon disregarding her boundary. And she being cursed, just like how Shani was cursed, because when he was born from Chaya, he was getting agitated because his mother was not, taking care of him. So he decided just to kick her. The child turned, looked at it, picked up, I can't remember what it was. She picked up something and whacked him in the leg so hard that he got a limp. But with Medusa having that deformed figure or monstrous look, that does include the Saturnian aspect to her. But also, since she does have that obviously strong snake aspect, she can most definitely be more of a ebb and flow and kind of being able to intoxicate someone, if that makes sense. Well, I mean, intoxicate, well, yeah, poison, but like intoxicate by actually having somebody see one thing and then it just turns into something else. Like somebody could, like, say somebody's working with her to actually be like a, what's that called? I'm just gonna go with the term that I know, being like a cloak and dagger, that she can come off just like perfectly normal, but then as soon as it gets too late, that's when she just turns it petrifies. Like for example, when I can't remember, I think it was the movie, um, which one was it? I think it was Clash of the Titans, where they actually remade that one. I think I think it's Clash of the Titans. I think I could be wrong, but there was that scene with her, and if you notice her face is actually gorgeous. It's just the other effects around her. And with that in mind, that aspect of being able to be alluring, but all of a sudden just get baited into a point where you can't escape. So it's kind of like that scene. No, not that scene. That line from Macbeth, as Lady Macbeth said it best. Be like the innocent flower that has the serpent underneath it. That's that's a quote I'm never going to forget, and I loved my Macbeth back then. So first we have rose in there, rose for the ultimate adaptation, but also coconut oil is used as that carrier. So coconut oil being pretty much the mother nurturing into it too. What else we got? We'll put in. Well, let me put in. Yeah, I think I'll just put that one away because I have over here lemon. Lemon, well, as being what I like to call one of the citrus sisters. Like there's tangerine, there's clementine, there's bergamot. I thought I call it bergie, lime. Um, there's orange. Yeah, lemon is pretty much the citrus quote unquote sister that is pretty much is like the clean freak, and she can be a little bit rude sometimes, but she's so adamant on keeping things clean. So lemon as a cleanser. Just gonna put a drop or two in there if it'll come out of the bottle. Okay. I said a drop or two, not three, but fine, we'll go with three. Now, so lemon's also another good one to actually kind of reset something, like return it back to its natural state. Like it kind of burns away anything impure, so it's a good purification plant and whatnot. But if you want to actually stun someone, yeah, yeah, yes, I can say this: if you put lemon with oregano and peppermint together, you have probably a mixture that's going to be a good, uh, like something good to like stun something. But primarily peppermint on its own. Peppermint is like getting it's like it's like if someone's saying something stupid and peppermint comes in and just slaps them and they get their brain reset. Like, oh, okay. Oh, thanks for getting me out of that stupid moment. And then they go back and doing it. They get peppermint slapped again. It's so strong that it slaps the stupid out of you. Yeah. hmm Yeah, because usually when somebody's in a state of being anxious, peppermint, it stuns at first, but then it makes the brain go, okay, we're back. It's a good like attention getter. Next one, like that. Next one is going to be, I almost, I almost said ukulele. Next is eucalyptus. Yeah, I'm going to put a ukulele in this thing. I don't know how I'm going to get it in there, but I'm going to stuff it. Eucalyptus is pretty good for pretty much uh, for the purification and then keeping things uplifting. It's also pretty good for keeping the focus of whatever the intent is and keeping it in the direction where it's supposed to go and not being misdirected. It would be so kind of come out of the bottle. Now the next three, actually four. Wait, seven. Oh yeah. Speaking of the other one, I probably should have put that one in first because that one is the most potent. Okay, I'll just put it in now. Next one. Mm, mm, literal. Mm. Next one. Oregano. I literally like to call oregano the anti-BS plant. It's so anti so many things. It's not even a joke. Is an antiseptic, antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. Oregano is so anti-BS because of that. So literally, if you want one of the most potent and ultimate get this BS out of here, get yourself oregano. And I'm just gonna put one drop because this little thing is potent. If it'll be so kind of come out of the bottle, if you would, thank you. And with oregano though, even though I could have just put in the like part of the spice in there, I don't know. It's just like the focus of the oil gave it a good punch to it. Oregano for any kind of BS that's still attached to this situation. Wow, that actually smells pretty good. Believe it or not, it smells like a lime that is kind of think of like a eucalyptus lemon scent, but then all of a sudden it starts a bit sour, then it turns into like that calming eucalyptus, and then just right from behind all that comes a big punch of oregano. Next, I'm going to put in a really small amount of this one. This one is tea tree. Usually, tea tree is used in most of the cosmetics to actually help with breakouts and damaged skin. It's actually known for that. For tea tree, it does have that very nurturing aspect to to the body and healing body. So I'm just gonna put one drop. Right? Come on. I like the smell of tea tree, to be honest. There we go. And then the last two, I'm gonna put some fur in here. No, not like animal fur. No, 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 no. Like oil fur. First one. The first one I'm gonna put in here is the Siberian fur. Now, Siberian fur, Siberian fur. Literally, I could smell that all day. I like to think of Siberian fur as essentially you're bringing a Russian soldier into this, and how Mother Russia says it in Soviet Russia, we just blow up you up. Have good day, you whatever. But Siberian fur, since it does have that Christmas aspect to it, the Siberian fir was the original Christmas tree. And essentially from that, there's this aspect of having a lot of Saturnian energy in it. So Siberian fir, I think, is like having an elder figure in the cold, and he is also cold, pretty stubborn, pretty grounded, and he can't get moved with anything. So just like Saturn, he is rebellious. He is strict. He does things in a set, ordered way. He can't be swayed. He can't be distracted. He can't be thrown off course. But because of that, he has a lot of resistance. So the aspect of having resistance to any more ailments of the kind that pretty much was worked on with the surgery, there's going to be that resistance and kind of rebelling against it with this Siberian fur. Put two put 2 drops in there, and it's kind of amazing to me that people own haven't used the idea of that smells that just smells so perfect. They don't use the aspect of Saturn as in they primarily use it either for the baneful working or the send of return to sender kind of workings. I'm surprised that there hasn't been much talk about like using it for like keeping something devoted and focused, like a marriage or commitment or anything like that. Doing any kind of like stay home, stay with me, or like marriage work. Because if you have Saturn being in charge of that, well, yeah, he's gonna keep he's gonna keep it there. Last but not least is Douglas fir. I like to think of Douglas fir as in history there was a there was an African American man named Frederick Douglass, and how he went to college, university, and he really pushed himself to really get himself an education and get to all the. And I think I'm trying to remember. I think he was also able to meet Abraham Lincoln. So he did have that strong fixation on actually making himself be known and also getting um, recognition by a president, I believe. I'm trying to remember, but I believe I'm just letting my intuitive side go through. So this aspect of pretty much growing from nothing to something and keeping that momentum, that's what I'm getting from like Douglas fir. Yeah, I like the smell. So taking that, Douglas fir having that focused and still growing, but then once it gets to its best point, takes all that and distributes it out elsewhere. So Douglas fir for this working, I'm gonna have it pretty much focused to mainly pretty much keep everything going and inspire everything else to get to its best state, and then being able to distribute anything that's left over, like any other parts of the intention that I missed, and help Rose be able to adapt with anything else. Now we'll just have the finishing. See how scent came out. Whoa! Wait a minute. This smells like a can of Sprite that gets spicy and then chili. It's like a it's like a spicy chili Sprite soda. It's spicy but chili, but it's like soda. Hmm. I don't know. I'm just gonna nod my head yes and go with it. So we have that. And now for the crushed herbs, I'm gonna plop in it. I'm gonna plop in. There's two of that. Definitely do not want to put that in there. That would be a whoops. Let's see, do I have any more of that? No. Oh wait, next line down. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna add one there. Another one there. After I crush it. First off, okay. First off is gonna be chamomile. Well, chamomile, despite it being a very tiny little flower, it has a reputation for being named the flower physician, or yeah, because it's been known to treat many ailments. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of the dust part of it. And I don't know about you, I like the smell of it. Twisty twist that, pop it there. Something fell, but I don't know what it was. Next is mm, next is mint. Essentially, it's like the same thing with peppermint, and not as you know, not as much as the punch in the face as peppermint is. I'm gonna turn this fan off so that way it won't be all like, oh, I'm gonna take your herbal mix there and just blow it away. Next, I'm gonna plop in. Okay, there isn't. Next is gonna be orange peel. Orange peel, yeah, of course, being the most outer part of the orange, that's actually where most of the, if I'm remembering correctly, I think that's where most of all the nutrients are at anyway. So when people that just peel an orange and throw out the skin, maybe you should numb the skin. But, but what do I know? I might be wrong, so don't quote me on it. It's good for cakes, cookies, and mandarins, or meridins. But I'm using the aspect with the orange to essentially orange is like it's like the uplifting citrus. Like orange, there's nothing like her. There's only one kind of orange, literally. So with orange, there's nothing like her. So it's a one of a kind motivator. Sometimes the way that my brain works, I think, what the heck? How the heck did you come up with that? I don't know. Then last but not least is good old rosemary. Rosemary is hmm, I like to think rosemary is that plant that is like a strict it's like having like a strict teacher that makes you stay on task and wants you to do everything you're supposed to do. And if you make a whoops, you'll know that you made a whoops, and then they'll make sure to actually let you know to not do it again. So pretty much keeping everything flowing as it should, keep the healing on point as it should, and not letting anything else get teetered away. And I'm going to squish it with this master quartz. And then I'm going to give it the intent of pretty much to activate and make all the herbs, oils, and everything that's in this lovely thing pretty much be activated to their best point and to do what I ask of them, if they would be so kind to their best possible way of that. Now, if we could not have it fly and hit me in the face, please, not do that. Because a piece of rosemary was like, oh, I'll show you. You think you're going to squish me? Well, joke's on you. This to the nose. Like I said, the strict teacher has struck. There we go. I've been rosemarried. Okay, so now I'm going to go like this. That just chill there for a moment. And now what I'd like to do to get all of those a little bit, like actually evenly spread, I just take the candle like that, hand, just start smacking it around a little bit, just to get anything that's in the way or kind of getting in the way of the wick and trying to think, oh, I'm going to strangle the wick. Oh, you think you're going to do that. You're not going to do that. Just to get all of that away from the wick. So we have that loaded. Now what I'm going to do real quick is have a short intermission. I'm going to make photocopies of these three real quick. I'll be right back and grab a drink. So 5 minute, uh, 5 minute coffee break, or 5 minute. I don't got nothing. Actually, here's one. 5 minute, um, 5 minute drink break, and we will be having some of Adam's blood from his freshly severed head. I know that was dark, but hey, it's funny. Oh well. Everybody raise your Adam glasses. Okay. Ow. I just walked into a wall. I know it must have been pretty weird being all like, how come we can hear everything that's going around him right now, but we can't even see him? Well, this is exactly what happens when you are on your magic A game. You sound so close, but yet so far away. But I will have to just say this. I love how these came off on the copier. I mean, look how gorgeous these things came out. Oh, after I scooch things over, they're going to fall. So, you can actually maybe even see all the detail in it now. Because there's Prince Seer at the end. Then here's their middle Prince Stolas. And then at the very end, we have President Burr. Yeah, actually, those came out very good. I like how they came out. So now what I'll be doing? Where did I put those scissors I just had? Not those ones, the other ones. Brownies! Where's the scissors? I just love you guys so much right now. I need my scissors, please. I just had them, and now. Okay, Brownies, could I please have my scissors back before you make me table flip on live camera? Which you kind of don't want that to happen. So if you could be so kind to hand me my scissors back, that would be just majestic. One. See? Every time. Every time. I just say, okay, one, and then there it goes. They just put it right in front of my face and they just start laughing. So, I'm just going to cut like this. Let's get them. Right there. And then, well, OCD moment, can't help it. So, there's Burr. Next we'll have install come out. And what I'll do for each of these cards on the back is actually write out the request if they deem fit to assist in helping the intention that is being focused on. Oh wow! Looking at Prince Dolus's artwork, I just realized something. Let me just finish cutting it off because I didn't see this before. I didn't see this before in the original artwork, but now that I'm like really focusing in on cutting the white away, if you take a look down below, I believe that looks like the head of the Baphomet figure, and he has his head down. I think that looks like the head of the Baphomet figure. It kind of does. And Prince Stolas is like right behind, and there's water coming out of it. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. But that goes to show you more of the reasons why I love that Goetia in the Dark Tarot so much. It's so dark that it forces you to use your it forces you to really use your subconscious and intuitive side to really, really engage it and really look. Because that's another advantage of the dark. Whenever you're trying to really see something, you really have to bring your subconscious to the forefront. And that intuitive side will shine the most when it's in the dark, which is exactly why I even also say this deck is flawless in terms of how it was presented and also the way it was intended. And it's a real hidden gem. And I mean, I'm looking at Prince Sear's head right now, and in a way, it does even look like a little bit like a lion right there. It's just so amazing. And in this depiction, he's a centaur. Yeah, he's a winged centaur. I mean, it's just so amazing. But yeah, this deck, the dark, the Dark Goetia Tarot in the dark, it's most definitely nowhere near a beginner-friendly deck. You can read it like a standard way, as like with a basic standard definitions for each card is supposed to mean this, and this is supposed to mean this, and it's supposed to mean that. But that's not really allowing the deck to use it to its fullest potential, in my opinion. So now, on the back of each of these, I'm going to put out the intention on them. Let's see, let me think here. Okay, for Prince here, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to like write it out like if I was actually speaking to him. Like if I was actually making um, like a little postcard letter. And I like how I'm like really trying to have like neat handwriting when I'm writing this thing out. Hmm. Intention. Then I saw something like flicker something, and oh boy, now what's going on? I'm gonna sign my name like that. So there I have five like from him in this working written out, and now I'm gonna do something real quick, not on camera. Oh, no, it's not much, but it's not that much, but it's there. Very faintly though. So now there's one. Next up is I'm going to be writing out for Prince Stolas. And yes, I'm really I, I'm wondering if I'm like the only one that usually most of the time prefers to call them by like their title as much as possible, unless if I get really acquainted with them, like Dantalion. I just call him Dantalion. I used to call him Duke Dantalion, then he just got a little annoyed by saying, "Just call me Dantalion." Damn you, fag. Oh, I hate it when he does that. Oh, no, you don't. It's like I mentioned him and then he just waltzes right in. Invite you to assist in this working my reading the herbs, oils, and crystals used to put out their it's really hit it when he yells. It's like he's getting louder and louder every day. But anyway, put out their best best possible um, I'm going to put emission of energy. And again, sign at the bottom. And yet then again, ow. Okay, now we got one last one. President Burr. Let's see, President Burr. Okay, so we're going to go like so. And for each one, I put the word invite, like how, like every single one pretty much starts the same way. I invite you to assist in this intention or this working by, then whichever thing I'm asking of them. Double check. Yeah. By inviting this, by, no, wait. I invite you to assist in this intention working by, and that using that word invite is much more, at least to me, it's much more, it's like giving them that say. And when you're giving an entity or any kind of spiritual being the opportunity to make their own choice. um, it's just so that way you know, honey bear, I'm flattered. I'm flattered that you care about me so much that you're gonna send pigeon men at me. I'm flattered, but no, thank you. You can keep your pigeon men. You can keep them, and make sure they stay in their cage because the last time they try to force somebody to do something, hey, it's up to you if you want to remove them or you want to keep the joke. If you want me to like make them the butt of the joke tonight. Mm, Anyway, but seriously, it's like if they want to keep swinging, go ahead. I mean, go ahead and throw a pigeon in them and watch what happens. Yahawashi? Yahawashi. Yeah, I didn't even get the name, to be honest. Anyway, I invite you to assist by um, Be right back. Kind of give him a little bit of a shh, please. But anyway, here. Yeah, they just keep raising me up. Oh, and by the way, while I'm thinking about, I'm just gonna do this. There we go. I'm surprised I didn't do this in the first place. I should have did that like ages ago. But anyway, President Burr, I my bestowing full restoration to the person in need. And I'm just gonna sign that and then just put in parentheses person, full name, that, and there we go. Okay, so now that's out of the way. I'm gonna get these laid out, and as soon as I'm finished with all of everything, I'm just gonna show the setup. Okay, we'll have there, actually have that be positioned like that, and then like this. Oh, no, I'm thinking about it too. And thus, we have the absolutely pure definition of a he who font. He tries to intimidate me by saying, "You better stop, or I'm going to send pigeon men after you." Oh, okay. Notice me! I'm important by saying I'm going to throw pigeons at you. No, 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 no. Besides, to be honest, if you were really practicing your faith, you wouldn't pick it up as and use it as a weapon. But that's not my business. But even heck, wait a minute. How can you send angels when when doing a prayer at all is technically not really allowed by your faith because that's considered occult and witchcraft technically. So wait a minute, you can't be doing spirit work. Mm-mm. So you just blow off your own foot. Whoops. And look at me, I didn't write the rule book, and I didn't alter the text 60,000 times, but that's none of my business. So now now the chaos magic side of it by making a sigil to plop on it. Mhm. Okay, so now I gotta press all the letters. My candle is here because I just finished preparing it. and it's all ready to get lit up. Not really lit up. Yeah, exactly. They keep my algorithm up. They're like, oh, wait a minute. This person is getting more views. Oh, he must be important. Quick, throw him in the algorithm so that way we have more fan girls probably attack him or fanboys or anything like that. I'm going to set angels after you. Yeah, they didn't. That didn't work. Speaking of that, I'm kind of curious, and this might be a little bit of a interesting thing. Is there actually any kind? Is there anything that's documented to actually like how it's been stated like how King Solomon put all the poetic divines and sealed them up and trapped them? By any chance, is there any for the same thing for like the angelics too? Like, oh look, it's an angel. Oh, he's causing havoc. Oh, nope. Mm-mm. You know, because I mean, heck, if they think that we must bind this, well, I think you need to be bound too. What do you mean? I'm doing what he tells me to. Yeah, but what he tells you to do is being a prick. Stop it. Like a seal to pretty much bind an angel or something like that. But hmm, so let's see. Especially like how with pigeons when they walk, they go every time they walk. It's like you can actually like if you play the right song when they walk, they'll actually kind of like be in tune with the song, which can be kind of creepy. I'm like, oh my gosh, doing that all day for so long, that would drive me nuts. Okay, now whenever actually random quick tip, whenever you're doing residual work, make sure you don't make the intention too long because if you have too many words and too many letters and all that, you can gonna drive yourself mad. But if you're like me and you're used to making these and having so many letters, I should. Oh wow! And I just can't get over also the what's his name? Count. I think his name's Count. The vampire that likes to just count everything. Just like how many are there? Well, we got yeah, which is kind of like an indirect point and laugh at no wait, that's already there. And it's there. There's that one. And I just got sidetracked in the middle of what I was saying, but yeah, I think it was Count. I think that was his name, and he likes to count things. And I believe it's believed that whenever you're being like under attack by some kind of vampire, supposedly all you have to do is like try and find something to actually make them count it. And for some reason, they're just so they have to count whatever it is. So, say for example, if I'm being fanboy or fangirled by a vampire, I'll just say, quick, count the little specks in this little bottle of orange peel. Go. Well, at least based on that theory. Yeah, it's like, ah. And also, don't they have wasn't there another misbelief that there's that they're so they have this noble and gentle like moral code or something like that, that if they can't just come into your house, they have to like, oh, okay. And at Like they can't come into your house too unless if you invite them in. Well, actually, you know what? That's very to me, that's considerate. It's just like I can just see this happening. Knock knock. Who's there? It's Reginald. Who's Reginald? You probably don't know me, but I'm Reginald, your long lost cousin. How come your incisors are like double the size of a regular human? I like meat, okay? Can I come in? I don't even think I remember you in our family tree. I am in your family tree just thousands of years ago. By any chance, is that ketchup on your face? Oh, yes, that I had some of that food you call fast food. But can I come in? Ah, of course, you humans. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Okay. Oh boy, that's gonna be quite the thing to make. And uh, and the idea of them not liking garlic, that one also makes sense to me too, because garlic is like pretty much the name all be all exercising plant. Wait, I already wrote that over there. We have that go there. Then we have that go like that. There. Get that out of there. Actually, that'll work like that. Do, do, do. Oops. Wait. Oh man. No, that thing was dead. Oh well. Yeah, that earbud just died, so that's why I threw it out of my ear. Like, oh, okay. And while I'm still thinking about it, my I'm almost finished with my loaf, but what? Use the tying rope around the corpse before burning it, so that if it's vampire, it'll spin not counting counting. I like that. I like that one. Counting the lines. Counting things come back from the times of Black White. I love that. I just love that history rising from the grave. Garlic doesn't work, but let's not take any chances and stock up now. And actually, I've also I can't remember where I read it, but I think it was also garlic was also used for like love work. I mean, warrior, yeah, yeah, when they're dead, it's just like, oh, it's a vampire. Wait, one, two, oh! Um, I just had and I lost it, but it'll probably come back as soon as I can, once my brain comes back around. But oh, I just remembered now. I'm almost finished with my Loaf book with the first draft. I'm almost done. The part that took the longest was just the historical part and the only part that I focused on. Like the most farthest back you can go, and pretty much just keeping it to the point of like how she got her vengeance with Yahweh and Adam, and then after that, pretty much that's when I broke it off and how she to this day now likes to explore the world and just be on a consistent adventure of discovering unique and beautiful things in this world and not having any bounds. And I do remember putting in there a small mention that she appears throughout many cultures of the world as other divine beings such as Daji. I put that in there. I also put in crap. I just had her name. I was looking right at her. I was just looking at her now. She's gone. I considered Persephone as potentially somewhat. related to Lilith in that regard too, because when I think of Persephone, I think of that aspect of her just going on an adventure and just being like, wow, so this is Hades. It's just a lovely place. How'd you get here? Are you Hades? Yeah. What are you doing here? I think this realm of yours is beautiful. What are you okay? Yeah, I love it here. Everything's dead. That's why it's so pretty. Because there is life after death. Isn't that just a gorgeous thing? Your mother's worried sick about you. Time to go. Did you just eat a piece of pomegranate? Yep, you know what that means. If you insist. Hey, Jeremy. About time you got in here. Okay, okay, I got that in there. Now that's left is just the Y. Okay. No, wait a minute. Oh, wait. I can just do this. There we go. Even though that kind of looks like a bit of a derpy, derpy thing with legs, but oh well. We'll go with it. Wait a minute. Wait. Here we go like that, and then like that. There we go. This thing looks so derpy. It's funny. Oh yeah. Supposedly now there's supposed to be like this really improved signal for like T-Mobile for me, but yeah, that was not good. It almost made me get to the point where I didn't want to have a cell phone anymore. And then I've heard in its live stream. But now I have to say this. The way that this little marking came out, look at that. It looks like it's a mouse and he's got his tail in the mouse trap. And now he's turning around being like, dang you. I was not even intending it to look like this. It's like, oh no, my tail's stuck in this mouse trap. And it's like he's flipping it off. I was not even intending for that to look like that, but we'll go with it. Okay. Now the real fun part to actually draw that onto this. And that's really what I absolutely love about doing chaos magic and stuff, things along those lines, is that you can get so wacky with this, what you can come up with. Chaos magic is like a box of chocolates, except you know what's actually in the box of chocolates. It's you never know what you're gonna get when you work with it, but you know what it is. You don't know how it's gonna come out to you, like how it's gonna come out, but you know what it's gonna be in the end. You don't know how you're gonna get there, but you know what you want. It's just how you build it. Yeah. Okay. And what I'm doing is I'm putting this on in Sharpie first. Mm-hmm. The literal magic that does as it likes. I can't do what? You sure? That's not what the rulebook says. The rulebook says I can do what I like. Anything. Anything? Anything. Even that, yep, anything. Okay. But what if anything? But isn't there any kind of nope? Anything. Okay, then we go down a little bit more. And I've also come to realize another thing too about sigils too. Specifically like say sigils that are like commonly used, like at a collective standpoint, like like a collective of people accepting that said sigil is related to said entity or divinity or the whatnot. I come to find out that making your own sigil, but then again, this is also true for Lilith, because she would much rather somebody be all, why don't you just make me your own symbol for me? Make your own. Don't be boring and be like, oh, okay, we're gonna go with the Everybody knows that one because when you're actually really putting in your time and effort to really make a symbol to represent something or a sigil to represent something, the amount of effort and focus into actually making it is actually I know I just stopped randomly, but whenever that happens, I'm like, I gotta hyper focus and come on, get on the bloody dimwit. Come on, just black ink it already. Thank you. Come on, come on. Drive me nuts. When you actually make a sigil like yourself, what? I didn't do it. No, but really, that thing is it was not working anymore. So I'll just make this black and blue. You know, they say about black and blue. Well, wait, got it just right. Okay. And then we go like that. And then we have a tail go underneath just like that at the end. Oh, wait, I think I got it all. Yep, close enough. Close enough. But now there's my little sneaky hack thing that I love to do. Brownies, the tape, please. Thank you. Them and they just love to just mess with me like that, but it's okay. So now we're gonna go perfect. I'm gonna go just like oops. But now not just like oops, but oh wow, that actually got right on it. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go around once because I do not trust the back of it. I'm gonna roll it up like that. Brownies, the snippies, please. Again, thank you. There we go. Now this way. The tape is on there now. Now, no matter what happens with this thing, actually, that up. Now, no matter what happens with this thing, it's gonna stay on there. It's not going anywhere. No matter what you do. Now you can like relocate it, put it in somewhere else, keep it hidden if needed, and yeah, that's not going anywhere. Literally, you could be sweating, grab it, it's still there. Well, yeah, unless if you break it, but I don't think I'm not. I don't think that would be an optimal idea to break it. But anyway, so now that this has all the things I want on it and in it and on the glass, and now we get to do the gridding part. And actually, to make it a little bit more simple, yeah, me make it more simple. Yeah, okay. Go with that. That one be the foundation. Those two be the foundation. I'm gonna scooch you that way, like that, and just like that. So now the fun part to actually get the crystals all lined up. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, give me. Let's see here. I'll go with. And hmm, think here, maybe we can use, oh, I know just the one. We'll go with this little feisty guy. That will be plan B. I can't find another one. Wait a minute. I know which two to use. I can just find where the bloody heck they went. Okay, brownies. Okay, oh, look at that. I just say, okay, brownies, and there they are. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Well, probably, maybe not. Yes, I'm still here and I'm paying attention, even if it doesn't look like it. See, yeah, I'm not going to break it. Because if I break it, I have to buy it. But then again, I already bought the gimbal, so technically I got nothing on that one. Okay. All right, so for this, I'll have that be there and that be there. Okay. Hmm. Grab my little stash of selenite. And yeah, but I'm going to build this thing first, and then show you the monstrosity that's been unleashed. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we go like this. We'll go that way. Mhm. Up on paper, it looked like it would work, but not in this case. So for that plan, oh well. Okay, there we go. So I'll just stick with my original plan then. Okay. Joys, the joys, the joys of playing Tetris with stones. Dear, oh boy, better not be started making those magical musical notes because that's when YouTube's gonna be all like, that's copyright, you can't have that. Okay. And to be quite honest, I believe this is probably the most neatest triangle I have made. Hmm. And of course, when I said that, the most neatest triangle I've ever made, yes, that was a joke. But if it works, and that's all that matters. It works. Okay. Except the way that it bends like that is going to drive me absolutely bonkers. No, there we go. I know you guys are probably thinking, okay, what's the deal, dude? I'm playing Tetris. Believe me. Hopefully, it will. Um, okay, so, hmm, actually, just got a crazy idea. Whenever you hear somebody say, "Oh, I think I have a crazy idea," yep, it's probably gonna end in a big major oopsie. So what I'll do is this. I had the idea and I just lost it. Actually, never mind. I didn't. Let me grab these little tiny, puny little clear master chord points. Okay. I know there's another one. Nope. Okay. Oh well. Off of that one. Wait. Nope. That cake was a lie. Okay. Nope. Wait. There we go. 1, 2, 3. I think that'll probably do. Okay, so this big honker going to go like this. Okay, don't you go face first in. Don't do it. Please don't do it because I don't want to. I don't want to have to be all like, well, here lies this attempted candle that was, put in a lot of work and effort to make how it was. Here's where it lies. It didn't even have a chance to burn. Why couldn't you just have let us? Why didn't you let us burn you? You were such. You were a candle we worked so hard in making and raising. Why did you have to break? No. And then slide it like that. Like this. Back that up. Okay, I think that's enough for the shenan shenanigans for one cult making day. So let me show you the monstrosity. I know it can only stay like this, but calm down. Okay, so here it is, essentially. That is how it looks. Time to go in for the actual analyzing of it. So there is Stolas to the left, President Bird to the right. Stolas has, I know you can't probably won't be able to see it that well. Right there we have our little amethyst piece, and then we have our green adventuring there. Amethyst for the amethyst for the pretty much the filtration and making sure that everything maintains its supportive aspect to everything. Green adventuring because it likes to, well, make things become pretty much abundant in their result. It's also really a good luck stone. And then at the very back right here we have, I just stubbed my toe and the amethyst fell over. That was a prank. But no problem. Easy fix. Stay. Okay, there we go. So right there we have Prince Seer with an apophyllite. Yes, that little terror. I'll have you know. That apophyllite, I can't even hold it that long because it just makes my whole head like make a loud ding noise. And then here we have a we have the biggest clear quartz that's up here, and it's surrounded all the way around like that. And then of course the candle on top. And then where is the citrons? Where's the symbol? Up right in front of my face. Right. Like, well, can't really see it that well because light's not hitting it just right. But yeah, it's right there. So so that is that all prepared, ready to go. After I make one last little modification, which is my little sneaky secret, and I'm exhausted. So I'm probably gonna go out and wash myself and fix my face and then get into state and then send that little thing off. And from there, see what comes next. And like I said earlier, I'm almost finished with the first draft of the little book I was talking about. And as soon as I'm finished with that, I do have like a new website in the making. I did originally have one, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it, so I just punted it to the curb. But I think that's pretty much it. If there's anything new, I guess I'll just keep everything up to date. I post about it. But other than that, it's Friday night. Oh gosh, now that kitty curry stuck in my head. I kissed the whoops and I regretted it. God, it's stuck in my head. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll be back.